Hey there, this is Jamie.Pelaez and it's day number 43 of my 90-day vlog challenge, and I want to let you know I worked out. Did you? I really hope so. It's really important, even if you take a walk for 15 minutes a day to get started, then bump it up to 30. Just get your body moving. Get whatever you can do exercise wise, go for it, and keep adding on week after week and building upon that. Okay, start somewhere because you are worth it. All right, so I'm super stoked because we actually started the Virgin Diet that I told you guys about in one of the other videos a little bit. We got the book in a few days ago. Larry's wife got to read it all. I made it halfway through, so I'm going to finish reading it. But we actually started today because the whole point was as long as one of us read the whole thing, we could get started and get going in the right direction. So it says drop 7 foods, right? Lose 7 pounds in just 7 days. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, yeah, whatever. That's sounds like a gimmick or whatever. And it's funny because how I heard about her was through a webinar that I was on, and that lady mentioned her, and that's how I found out about her. And I'm so grateful for that. And what happened was Virgin, she had a bunch of clients that kept having, difficulties and problems, and she started noticing there was a pattern. They were all having similar symptoms and issues, and she found out that the top 7 foods that they were having issues with are the 7 foods that we actually are taking out for the next 21 days and then reintroducing 1 a week to see if we have a problem with them, and that's gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, sugar, peanuts, and corn. I'll repeat that again in case, I went a little too fast. Gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, sugar, peanuts, and corn. And sugar also includes, any of those artificial sweeteners, which I highly do not recommend ever taking. Do your due diligence, do your research. There's no excuse, with access to the internet and libraries and stuff like that for anyone to not know that they're poisoning their body. Sorry, that's my little rant. I'm just saying, inform yourself. You get this one body, take care of it, love it, always work on improving and being better. So this is why food intolerance is the real cause of your weight gain. Are you one of those people, and this is not just weight gain. When I read you some of the symptoms, I think it's going to blow your mind if you've never researched this type of thing. Weight gain is one part, like maybe you've been struggling, no matter how much you try, you keep gaining weight or you keep being stuck, Part of that could be stress and cortisol levels, but also some of the stress that you're dealing with that brings up that cortisol levels could have to very well do with these other symptoms and these food intolerances that you may or may not have. So there's a quiz in here, and so I'm going to read this to you so you can go ahead and get a pen and paper out, and feel free to go back if you need to and watch this part over again, because I will go over this relatively fast. It says, what are you tolerating? Think of it that way. I love how she words stuff throughout this book. What are you tolerating? Are you, and this doesn't go just for the food, what are you tolerating in your life? Are you tolerating excuses from yourself and others? Are you tolerating being in an abused relationship? Are you tolerating, not living your purpose and being, in a job that you cannot stand and does not fit with what you were created to do in this world? Are you tolerating poisoning your body in the sake of, oh, well, I like this? What are you tolerating? And why are you tolerating? That's a good question. So it says, is food intolerance holding you hostage? Think of it that way. If you have this stuff and you've had it for a little bit or a long time, you've been held hostage by these foods. These foods do not agree with you. They're like your enemy, okay? If you find out you have intolerance to foods and you find out which ones they are, they're literally your enemy, because if they cause any of this stuff in you, it's just not worth it. And if you think it's worth it just because something tastes good, there's a problem with that. You need to get help, because you should love yourself more than that and want to be your best, healthiest self, because then you can do the best in your life in general. The relationships, business, it doesn't matter. In general, you can be your best when you feel your best. So it says, if you have one of the symptoms listed below 1 or 2 times a week at a mild or moderate level, even if you barely notice it, score that 2 points. If you have mild or moderate symptoms 3 or more times a week, or a severe symptom 2 or more times a week, score that 4 points. So here are the symptoms: abdominal cramping, acne or rosacea, ADD and hyperactivity, arthritis, osteo or rheumatoid, asthma, brain fog, chronic mucus/stuffy nose, congestion, constipation and or diarrhea, dark circles under the eyes, depression, eczema, fatigue, food cravings, gas and bloating, headaches, inability to lose weight, joint pain, moodiness, muscle pain, psoriasis, sinusitis. I hope I said that right, guys. I've never said that word before, so hopefully I did. Skin rashes, throat clearing. Those are the things. Score them up. Let's see what you got. Now, when I read through this the other day, I was just really going through, digging for information. I didn't take the quiz, but I decided before I did this video that I should totally take the quiz because I'm telling you to take the quiz, and who am I to tell you to do something that I haven't done myself? Now, I already knew in my head, probably moderate, maybe high, okay, was going to be my score. What my score was actually shocked me. So let me tell you, after you total your points up, it says 1 to 5 is low-fi. Now, even if you're low-fi, you still should go through this and find out what food is causing that low intolerance that you're having, because wouldn't it be awesome to not have any intolerance at all and feel your best all the time and not have any of those symptoms like ever? That'd be freaking awesome. Mid-fi is 6 to 14. Obviously, you should definitely do this. And if you're high, are you insane? Even if you're low, you should do this. If you're mid to high, what are you thinking if you don't take charge of your life now and be willing to find out what's been bugging you, what's been doing these things to you so you can truly feel good? There's so many people that walk around having a lot of these symptoms thinking that this is just how life is. You're supposed to feel like this. Maybe it's because you're getting older. Maybe it's because you had some kids. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, whatever, whatever. And they don't look for the root cause, and they just assume that this is just how it should be, especially people that have been suffering with these symptoms since they were a little kid or as long as they can remember. Those people really think, well, it just is what it is. This is how life is. No, it's not supposed to be how life is. Maybe it's how your life is now, but it doesn't have to be that way. So high-fi is 15 plus. I scored a 44. 44. As a matter of fact, I was so astonished by this number, I went back and took it again to make sure that I did it right, and sure enough, 44 still. So I was already stoked to be doing this because I had a feeling I was having some problems, but after taking that quiz, like, I'm ecstatic, like beyond ecstatic that I am doing this, because 44, like, God only knows what damage has been done to my body up until this point. I'm 32 years old. That could have been prevented. And now I will be healing and fixing. But what if I didn't have that? Like, a lot of this stuff I've had since I was a little kid. You know, I was talking to my mom about this. I've had, let's see, dark circles under my eyes, okay, since I was a little kid. I would say most of my early 20s, I've been dealing with depression off and on. I know a lot of that had to do with being in an abused marriage and stuff like that. But, and you know, my son Aiden being born full-term stillborn. But I also had to wonder, you know, maybe the depression wouldn't have had to been as extreme, you know, as it was if it wasn't for a food intolerance. And how much of the depression I've been going off and back and forth with, you know, lately, how much of it is from a food thing? And obviously I've been suffering from acne, especially really bad since I've been here this summer to New Jersey. I can't get rid of it. No, whether I cleanse on the inside, cleanse on the outside, home remedy this, it's just not working. It's not going away. So if I can get rid of that, I'm like, woohoo, super excited. You know, the dark circles under my eyes, like I said, since I was a little kid, I've had these. So if I can reduce them even a little bit, I will be stoked. Okay, that's no one wants to walk around having those. That's just not fun. Inability to lose weight, I've been having, you know, I would say for at least probably the last 7 to 8 years. Well, I have lost weight some. Like I said, a lot of that had to do with my stress and cortisol levels, but this past year, it's been really difficult to lose weight, even though I'm not as stressed out as I was. So that is probably something to do with that. Mucus. I've always had mucus first thing in the morning. Some days are better than others, and I know that probably is gross, but we gotta talk about this stuff. You know, these are realities of things that are happening in people's lives. Constipation, off and on, since I was a little girl. these things I just thought, okay, this is what it is. Part of my life. Apparently I'm a mucusy girl with dark under eye circles that is constipated sometimes. No, apparently, no, I wasn't supposed to be born that way. It's probably something I've been eating this whole time. I have a feeling, for me, I have a big feeling that it's going to be gluten. That's going to be one of them, but I won't be surprised if there's several of these that I need to do away with. And my daughter too, like I've noticed that she's had a lot of these symptoms. And so I'm having her go through this with me as well, because I want to be the best mom possible to her. And if there's something I've been poisoning her with, and that's exactly what it is. Like people don't think about this. If you find out, okay, or even if you don't know, like if you don't know what you're feeding yourself and how it's affecting your body, you could be, inadvertently poisoning yourself or poisoning your children. And then if you find out, you've been noticing these symptoms and I just, educated you and armed you with information and you go, whoa, I have all these symptoms or half of these symptoms. Oh, and my kids have half of these symptoms or my aunt or my whatever. Well, it's your duty to share this information. And if they are your children, help them go through this process so you can be the best parent possible and make sure to give them the best life possible. I could only imagine if my parents were armed with this information and actually utilized it when I was a little kid. God only knows like how much drastically different my life would be if I wouldn't have had all these issues for as long as I've had them. So what's your life worth to you? Do you want to, there's some people like, oh, you only live once, so I might as well go out, happy. Is being freaking miserable, having these symptoms, happy to you? Is that living life? Like if that's living life for you, then you got problems. I don't know. There's no nice way to say it. Like if that's living to you, feeling like crap all the time and having all these issues, you need to figure out what really living is about and how it's supposed to be, because that is not living. That's not living. So I want to go over a couple other things. Some typical symptoms: digestive trouble such as bloating, gas, constipation, or diarrhea; sleep issues such as fatigue, insomnia, or waking in the middle of the night; congestion, sneezing, and coughing; muscle aches and joint pain, dark circles under your eyes, dull, lifeless hair; skin problems including acne and rosacea; mood problems such as a lack of focus, brain fog, depression, anxiety, or irritability; poor or unsteady energy, weight gain, and premature aging. So another thing she's noticed is a lot of people look way younger after they get done with this. Who doesn't want that, right? That's a good thing. And lose weight, feel better, reduce these symptoms. So she's not saying that you got to get rid of these foods forever, but she's had some clients that they feel so amazing that they don't even want to test out any of these 7 ingredients back in their diet because they just don't want to feel like crap anymore. They don't even want to risk it, even if it's for that little time to test it out. I am going to test stuff out. I'm going to test gluten. I don't eat a lot of dairy already as it is. I will test that out. Soy, I try to avoid like the plague unless it's fermented. So I will give that test out. I really do enjoy some miso soup occasionally. Peanuts, I do want to test out. Corn, I try to avoid that like the plague as well. And I try not to have a lot of sugar in general. So I'm not really too worried about that if that is a problem for me, or reducing what I already, have reduced over the years. Not a big deal. The only thing I told my mom, I was talking to her about this, and I hope she gets on board with this and gives this a shot. And I hope you do as well. And anyone, I'm going to put a link below this, feel free to click on it. It is my affiliate link. So if you do buy from that link, I appreciate it. You're helping support me and my family, and much love to you. Really appreciate it. Share this video, like it, whatever, because like I said, it could be you that are having these issues. And if it's not you, I guarantee some of your friends and your family are having these problems, or your colleagues. There's so many people that are suffering with so many of these symptoms and things. It is absolutely ridiculous. And there's no reason that you have to suffer any longer, or they have to. So be a good friend, be a good spouse, whatever. Be a good human in general, and pass on this information because it is that valuable. That's why J.J. Virgin wrote this book, because she wanted to help more people faster. She also, realized that some people can't afford to hire her one-on-one, and she's one person. So even if everyone could afford to hire her one-on-one, there's only so much time in a day and in a lifespan. So she found an affordable way to get the word out where people can take control of their life, and that's this book. So check it out and let me know what you think. And if you've actually already done this, I want to know, like, what happened, you know, how do you feel? Are you sticking with it? Did you find out you have some problems? Did you get rid of those problems out of your life? Or, you know, maybe you found out that you had a gluten problem before or any of these other things and you've already removed them from your life. You know, how much better did you feel? What's going on? Or maybe you just decided, hey, a lot of people are having issues with gluten and I don't want it in my life anymore. I actually have met several people that have done that. If you've just decided to get rid of it anyways, what were the results of that? I want to know. And if you find out you were gluten, you know, had a gluten problem and got rid of that, but you're still having these other symptoms, then I highly encourage you still go through this, because maybe you're having some of these other food intolerances. And like I said, why not live the best life possible and feel the best while doing it? Be able to focus and be your best all the time and constantly be improving and growing. Imagine, you know, someone that has the brain fog and the depression and the sleeplessness and tired and whatever all the time. Imagine if they got rid of that. Like, how much more productive would that person be in their life if those things went away? Even if they had one of those things. Like, this is what I'm talking about, life-changing information. So the only thing I'm going to be bummed about if I find out that I have to get rid of it is eggs. I know you're saying, oh, there's egg replacements. Have you seen what's in those egg replacements? No, that's not an egg replacement. I don't want anything artificial and fake and nonsense. Not only that, my favorite way to have eggs is eggs over easy. And there's just no mimicking that. You can't, you know, even if science figured out some way to make an egg looking like thing with egg looking like yolk, I wouldn't eat it because I wouldn't trust it, okay? Because it wouldn't be real. So if I have to give them up, I will be a little sad that I don't get to dip, you know, whether it's gluten-free or gluten bread into my egg yolk. But I'll be okay because, like I said, a lot of these symptoms I've been having all my life, and a lot more in the past several years. So to get rid of them, it's okay if I don't get to dip, you know, my bread in my yolk or whatever, or have to give up peanuts and things like that. I'm okay with that. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you've had any, you know, these intolerances and how finding out about it has changed your life or any of your family members. Pass this on, like it, comment below. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah! Bye for now.